Dynamite 88.9 into your most educative, entertaining program, Know Yourself. That comes your way almost every other Mondays between the hours of 8 to 8:30. Once again, my name is Counselor P.S. Kwofie. Today, too, I have such an exciting topic to discuss with you. We've already begun the first episode. We are looking at the series of fighting fairly in an intimate relationship. The last time that we met, we gave you the very first one. Today, we're going to continue with the episode 2 of fighting fairly in an intimate relationship. So stay good. Where necessary, we'll open the lines for you to come in. It's a full monadre, missing as a Counselor P.S. Kwofie. Na ejumeza yes a boy yan ho hena sitinamo your friend Know Yourself and then subium yedrudi da pena obesin ya yihye biem no ene ye adwen kwana ye beja atum de ye ya adofo eze yesua ehu wo ha dedaw de ye ya adofo nti na odru bebe ye beya anokonkwar na nso ampa ye butumi ya anokonkwar onfa sebio aworije emba anantitumudi onfa emba na sedameza ono no ye wo nhihye bia ode yizedo na obotumu abohen ma ya no konkwar mentem ho asa abane hina na chi yezi besisi awo no anankitawuzi no ahena afi ne yerwo no sende ode ntitumudi ezbaba. And so already we have established that verbal conflict is not only acceptable but highly desirable if it is constructive. And this, I backed it by an authority by name Peter Wyden. And according to Wyden and Bach, they believe that couples who fight together stay together, provided there's a condition, provided they know how to fight properly or how to fight fairly. And that led us to look at what family therapists mean by using the word you fighting fairly. And we said that it's about something to help you know the rules that govern verbal exchanges. Or, again, it means it is a means through which people in an intimate relationship negotiate by allowing each other person to bargain. And that is what we talked about. Again, it is about observing certain conventions when we are arguing in an intimate relationship. So that is about fighting fairly. Etefo, the ebra yihye biem no yehunde anokonkwar mentem ho ase no onye de ohia kekeo oyada wo hene kitawudi emude ye ya warfo na afi na yesu yan ho no oye okan hyehye no ho na ka ho no obeye yie aboa awa no nkitawudi no se yinyimokwa na yefado na mentem ho ase ba yedi sesie za na ono nti na oma da mensusun ya na adesua yesu no ho hia de yekede fight fairly another ye dzichim ye kontrokwa ewa abra sabe onyansa oda ho a ono na ase kyerɛ de yesu ho de ono kyerɛ de menyuri da no konkware bi misunderstand bi aba kwana yere kasa no yenyim de nhyehyɛ bi wo ho na yezibe ye adwuma na ahene bi ehina nso se benyin anabesia no obi amane ye ho no ekwan ma okyerɛ na adwen a onsuro wachi onye nsato oyano na ekyerɛ wa adwen mo so mekyerɛ ma adwen na yedze nhyehyɛ na ɔwɔ hɔ a yiresua last time yesua no mu anan man de yedzi biriba ka ho no da nhyehyɛ hina edzi yedwuma. And so we learned about 4 of these rules, ground rules, as proposed by an authority by name Crosby 1991. The very first one that we studied was that we need to negotiate from the adult position. Again, we said there is the need for us to avoid ultimatums in our speeches. And then we should also understand that in any time that we enter into argument with our loved ones or those that we are in an intimate relationship with, bear in mind, no matter how good you are, how skillful you are in arguing and winning points or winning the argument, fair enough, you may win, but remember that if one of you loses, remember the two of you will lose. Because you may win the argument, but that person is left unsatisfied and therefore will not give you the needed support that you need to get your comfort at home. And so bear in mind that if one of you loses, the two of you will lose eventually. And then we ended by saying that anytime that you are having an argument, anytime that you are fighting, having some verbal exchanges, say what you really mean. Don't go around the bend. Try not to beat about the bush. So these are the four that we began with. It's for you care there. The pen abeson kwa na ye dwen dam ekwana ye beta se de ye ya adofui eben nimpa ene hunim broye ehunin sintro ne yie ono nti mama onye henade bia oye de oye hu ami bi nsi de ewo wodofo ne ehunin sintro na ode eka ho asam na dam asam na yereka no otum bia bi ho ye bufu odebade na yibutumi yakwo ewa abranyansa na adwene woda ho amementen mensa na modofo no so akaten nensa ne nyina de ye won hyehye a ode yedi edo yedine mu anan yezema hon ozikan ye kede se yenye ye ho rizi anokonkwara yesra hon wo meyen hena adze de obinum a yenwu afiri yenwu agboi otwode bien memma wonyonko emfa ohye bi ntono de yede na ya de bottle ana message amena message eye dama edzentokwaze ba nti je dama nzama ne ye afi sawanu yedzina ma etum wose amede menye obi anya argument memin lucid yo sedam na awo efi de wanu yedzina nti enye bi ya anokonkorma onzu dunkunyima ebedi ne dunkunyim na ma woso hwehwe ewo asetene mu no woso nkaka nti onu di nkugu a woso edi nkugu ne bi na afi ma obobbo nso de enye wodoforo ya no konkwara mesrewara emfa asam no wonwon bo modena de ma wabo mu no de can straight for to ho na nden so ye hwe de kwan ebema ya tuado de embra no mu beye anan kisi beye sia. And then so we want to discuss with you about 4 to 6 rules that we need to follow in order to fight fairly in an intimate relationship. One is that you need to avoid accusations and attack. When people are accused, they tend to react either by accusing the other person in turn or by withdrawing. And so statements are implicit or explicit signals of attack. You make me mad. You always do that, or it's always your fault. These statements you need as much as possible to avoid. Most people become defensive and angry in response to statements such as what I've mentioned, that you do this, you make me do this, you make me do this. So avoid these accusations. Etefo sampade yedin hihye bi boto kwan mu emma ye no konkwament mo asem bi ba yene nketonzim na yepede yesesia mesra wanye wodofo no rekasan bo mozen de embo ne kwadu ewo kasa no emu awode be bia adam na oye mekase nsu da kro bi na oye damazen but our kasa say awo nti biri bia anyi biri kasa na abrofo si you eye awo no omo bi ko no so tine be bi de ohwehwe kwan bi de erobon ko eduza oda no so oka bibi na ozu twetwa no ho nti de be bia bo na enyije mfamba nti dem embrace yemhwe na memme yembo ko edu sampa. Indeed, if you don't want to accuse the person, then what must be the way forward? Own your own feelings first. And what do I mean by that? Instead of attacking with that statement, you use I instead. So I feel hurt, I feel rejected, or I feel disappointed. Just make your point. Although the difference between the saying of I or the use of I and you may be that small, it is also significant. By using I statement, the speaker is clearly pointing out that something is wrong in the relationship, and it is simply putting the issue, or the person is trying to put the issue on the table for discussion. And so the use of I indicates that the other person is innocent until proven guilty, rather than vice versa. And so, say for me, there, Sir Ampa Mayor Casa, na mempede mumbo kweduza, and the massam the menkanda, Mayor Kane there. I will in the BB, and you would often a year in common, why your BB etio, and how they can't want from it, there. No quite Nancy Missa, and the Abiro Cordo, our Hano. Oh, mamma, no, Cheddar, my bomb may grow. I did the baby, minim, I did Mencabusian, cowardly, what how no, can, and say, eh, Dama, I was an Erica, and so my word of no, in ya gonna be there, a bobon quedu. Name woman with a baby nor quart or chama, a one kitten within mo, and I will reach my at the corner mao. Tibia ama ekodrum nti eredwen ono so ma obaka for him until there will be kuna nkasa de no ho baba ma yenhu de ampa awo feelings na tibia na ewo mu no wa contribute na awo man sheda nkada awo mambo no kwedu na kawo awo ankasa ehwe a tibia wo mu no ma wa ma ekodrum. So express just your feeling. Again, there's this very important rule that you need to also observe, that always check out your perceptions. Always, you check out your perceptions. Honestly, miscommunication is often the catalyst for disagreement. Don't assume that you know what is really going on until you have talked with the other person. Also, don't try to guess what the other person is thinking or feeling. It is your responsibility to ask. Mohian so pine there, eya, ye ne henadofo wo fie. Na ye bobra. Se wa ye bribia. Ono nti na all the ye mahene you, or ye you, na ye no ho nso ye ho no. Onye dem na eye wade ye wo friend in sechi nse ye ma ye hu ne pasu na. Eye ota ma wo dofo no dwene demo. Na ono na nde ye sede. Yer kade man dwene mfa mo dofo bribia entase no awode bisa ma wo wadwen mu no bisa na dwen na ebia o kire wo mu a ono bobo ma wadwen bia owo woti mu ne bohoda nya ono mpo nti na o more ye na mom bibi foforo bi nti na o more ye ono nti amede mafu twan de ye mbo mozen na ye mbo ehia na akomam ye he na adofo na ye won te bibiri kwachi o memfa nhye wo mu na wo dofo na nkasa onfa na adwene mfa nchinchin da ma obandama o manyije entina nkitamuze no emu bomozen de se bibi na oro hawa chewa adwen gbewo mu enye yenka wonzi nkita ho oye bibi na ampe ahochi bi abawodo ekura adwuma mu boss bi minsa onye wudi no onye wonzi ne ye ebi kwa anya wo ukun anawo ye no nti na o ma wo buafu etifi bibi na ezebe obi sa so wase bibi anyi ho na bibi anyi hoi no so onye uti ohudan ye dam na eti nti bo na opede odwen bibi ma anane dam ye ne de nta anane da okada men ye de man ye ne nta ebi so na onte dam nti me yer kan de obandam na oyezeneze ba bomazen de endwene mfama odofo na mom ebebisa de ebenaze nti no mo orye dem. Again, state your wishes and requests clearly and directly. People often do not say directly what they want because they are afraid of being turned down or rejected. One common approach is to ask a leading question, one that hints at the desired result without directly asking for it. For example, someone who wanted to go to maybe a movie might also ask that, would you like to see a movie tonight? And that indirect approach would make that person's respond let you know whether the person is interested in going to a movie or not. So don't confuse that person. I am saying that instead of using indirect questions and all that, go straight and make your requests clearly and then directly. and without moving around to confuse the person. And say for more here and there. Say ye pede, ye kasa, ye ya no conquer. Ebufu abo se bibi na mentemo asin we se busuam na ye din se sie ye zeba. Se pede ebisa wodofo no bibia memfa nkafa anwone bia bisa asam no we asam na nyim na ka ma tibia na orokodo we fie honom ma otuwa akudru na onye dem a obeyede ye ne nam eggshell do dem de bibia mekan ebo de abo otida abo nchefu no ho aho na eze egu ho na epede enanto do sa nanto bro a obotwo enti se ewo nkitanwuti bi mu na dam tibia na wakudru ma mesro pocho wompem buan 10 onye dam a hona wo na na hona nkitanwuti na onyaza obotumu abo hon mo bia bisa se bibi na ohawa. Again, never use sex to smooth over a disagreement. Eye mankofo ye de tolomtala ena afi wudi gina ho mechira bi no so se warokota kwa ho na wota woti emezi meka tolomtala ena me mean love making. Enti se bibi na orokodo wafi a mesra wara wonfa no no wonfa nkaso na ma mo wanke tolomtala ana wonkwata kwa na wondwenda asam na wa solve no ho da bi obe tolomtala na ninimpa ono feel hurt no ehwa na wasan wakufunu mu na waka de na ntwibin na so no wawo na ase teche enti ma me yemfa sabio empem agudi yemfa enkatakata nzamado se bibiri kwado no onye na immediately no ekuru use sex do ye weapon obi wo hope bibi efi no do fi bi ho a osa se amfa da ma na mama enze mo so menye wonda ampa nti bo na odaze ko na ma na onye wada but odi hu de onfi na akomam da mara nso ena se bibi no wa kodo ofie ho na onye a wonfa ho na no nkasa na mama mo wonfa sex na wonfa nkata do kata do a onye ye ebiku na aze no ho na no ho. Of course, because of time, I want to say this so that I open the phone lines for you to also come in. And that is what I'm trying to establish, that repeat the message you think you received. Say, enye winyanko, enye wodofo, woyer, obi epede, wosyo wonho, wajumem nibina, wawankitawudi. Of course, I want to zero into an intimate relationship. When you are in an intimate relationship and your partner tells you something, especially when you are giving the person active listening. If that is the case, I am saying that you need to repeat the message you think you received. And so, my can hina there, and you do for reason common. Na epedo unho there as samona oracan, wagin way edunity. Ebona atwena adwene ha nsa hapo na dede na ereka misa watsen no efa kwanfoforo bi do na enye ka nti mebo hwan da okere enyo da ma na America nti man fa nhya wo ho eya abo na abam kakra na ebisa baby ye fa na clarification odu baby na see clarification na hey na ma echede no dam na epede echa na so yo a obekede yo enya dam so a obekere ma na opede oka na ntokwa na de anokonkwa no waye no why fefefeo. And so we want to still emphasize that, of course, when you are in an intimate relationship, bear in mind that verbal conflict is not only acceptable but highly desirable if it is constructive. And then again, backed by an authority, couples who fight together stay together, provided they know how to fight fairly. Nti adofo no ma yeta yekono ahia nso na hina wo no also na ne hina de da montokwa na yere ka no oyano kasa yara na enyimukwa na yede kasa wa abramentem wasa abaza o ma hina do no no mu otintim senenka no no po nti de bebia no obo hen na otwe hen ebo ntem because yibo wie no na ya tie ho asem obia no ho atwen na ya akada ebere intimate one bisa na then by program that's on my phone lines and also it was and bisa na one boy bia it was huni bia za bana hina no yetumi esua bibi efi oye azenment ebutu ma afro 0204 988 889 and 0554 200231. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Wasn't no baby a air free?
Yo,